Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we have discussed about the introduction of FGMs, that is, functionally graded materials. So, as we know that depends upon the application, we require different properties. So, those all properties are not attained or cannot be get in a single monolithic material. So, in order to avoid this, to overcome these difficulties, we are adding some alloys. It means we are adding two or more materials to get two or many identical properties, or depends upon the functionality, many properties can be attained by means of this alloy. But there are some limitations in alloys. So different materials, all materials cannot be mixed together due to thermal equilibrium conditions. So for example, titanium and aluminum, those two are not mixed together. Why? Because one of the metals are having high temperature and one is having low temperature, low melting temperatures. So due to variation in its thermal equilibrium, so those two metals cannot be mixed. So similarly, there are many combinations. So as we know that, so combination of two or more metals is called alloys. So due to thermal equilibrium, those materials are not combining in each other. So due to that, the materials are not forming as alloys. So we are not getting the desired properties. So to overcome this issue, the next thing we generated is composite materials. So again we know that composite materials are used for various applications. So depends upon the properties, required properties, we are preparing a different material that is called composite material. So in alloys, the composition, so those two are microscopically mixed together, whereas in composite that should be at macroscopic level. And in composites, the two materials, so one is the reinforcement material and one more is the matrix material. Those two are having different physical and chemical properties. Then only we will call that as composite material. So to overcome many properties or many disadvantages in alloys, we prepared composites. Though composites are better than alloys, though they are also having some disadvantages like delamination. So the reinforcement will be pulled out. That's one of the condition of reinforcement. So to overcome this all, so to get the desired bonding between between the materials and to satisfy the desired application, we developed one more material that is called FGMs, that is functionally graded materials. So depends upon the functionality, we can alter the material so that one will get one more property, on the other side it will show different properties. So to get the desired property, we prepared one more material that is called functionally graded material. So now today we will discuss about the various types of FGMs. So that is chemical composition gradient. So by varying the chemical composition, so here this is the structure of our composite of our FGM material. So if we compare one, if we segregate this into number of parts, if we divide this into number of parts or layers, so compared to one more layer, the properties will vary. So similarly here, by means of this chemical composition, here we are changing the chemical composition in each layer. So here I am going to mix two materials, that is A and B. Here the composition of A will be 100%, whereas here on the other side it will be B as 100%. So gradually here A is 100, here the next case A 90 and B 10%. Next case 80 20. Next case 50 50. The last case B 100% and A 0. So here we are changing the composition of the component, so that by dividing it into number of layers, we are changing the composition, so that we will get the desired property on one side and one more property on other side. So here the gradient is, the interface is changing gradually instead of a sharp edge. So the next one is porosity gradient. So porosity, here as we know that due to porosity the property will vary. So one by one, so if we compare one component to the other component, the size of the porosity is changing. So similarly, if we divide this, segregate this into n number of portions, we decide this one also, everything into number of layers. So here, compared to the porosity, the size of the porosity will be varied. So that the property will be varied in this porosity gradient FGMs. The next one is microstructure gradient. So as we know that during solidification, the microstructure, the barriers will form. It means the grain boundaries. So if we are controlling the cooling rate, so that the grain boundaries will be changed. So it depends upon the requirement. If the grain boundaries are changing, the microstructure of the components also changes. So that we are getting different properties on different sites. So now in detail we will discuss one by one. So chemical composition gradient. So this is one example of chemical composite gradient. So here we are mixing two gradients. That is A and one more is B. So if we observe here, there are 5 layers. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 layers. So the overall component is divided into 5 sections, 5 gradients. So in the top layer or first thing at the bottom level. Sorry, 1 second. So make this as first layer. So this one as first layer, this one second layer, this one third, 4 and 5 layers. So here the whole component is divided into 5 parts. So altogether is a single part, but internally we divided the part into 5 parts. Divided the complete component into 5 parts. The first one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here in the bottom part, we kept 100% of composition A. So here we are mixing two materials, that is material A and material B. So this is material and one more material B. So for producing a component, here we are mixing two materials, that is material A and material B. On the bottom side, here we use 100% of composition A. So the material A 100%. So that the property will be X. So on the next layer, we reduced the composition of A and increased the composition of B. So here that is 70 grams of A and 30 grams of B. The next layer. So if we compare from here to here, here it is plus 0 B. Is 100% of 100 grams of A plus 0 B. The next one, 70 grams of A and 30 grams of B. Again together it is 100%. The next one, so 60 grams of A and 40 grams of B. So if we compare from one layer to other, the composition of A is reducing, whereas the composition of B is increasing. So here it is 100%. The next layer reduce it to 70, next 60, next 20, next 0. Similarly for the composition of B, initially it is 0. The next one is 30 grams, next 40 grams, next 80 grams, next 100 grams. So from one direction, material A is decreasing, in one more B is increasing. So gradually B is increasing, so that both together always 100 grams. The composition, the overall weight of the component is not reducing. The only thing is layer by layer, we are changing the composition of different materials. So here, maybe the property A is having high toughness. So maybe property B is having high refractiveness. B is having good refractory material and A is good toughness material. So on the A side, it is giving good toughness. On the other side, on the B side, it will give good refractiveness. Here there is no sharp interface between these two. So gradually it is changing. So that the bonding between those two is also very good. So that again, one more layer, 60 grams. Next layer, 20 grams of A and 80 grams of B. Next layer, 100% of B. So gradually layer to layer, we are changing the composition of the component. If we are changing the composition, so here it is 100% of A, it will give good properties. So if the composition is reducing, the property will reduce. So one property will varies in the sense. So from here to here, gradually the property is varying and one more property is increasing. So on one side, the component is having good toughness, on the other side, it is having good refractiveness. So depends upon the application, it is satisfying the both sides. So it means that we have a material that is having good toughness on one side and good toughness on one more, sorry, good refractiveness on one more side. So if it is exposing to high temperatures, so the exposing side will be of big side. So that is having high refractiveness, so that this material, this component will use high strength or high durability for this refractiveness material. Refractive side. So on the other side, it is giving good toughness, so that the life of the component will be high. So as the composition. So now coming to the theory, as the composition of the material is varied from one material into the other. Varying from one material into the other. So here we are changing the composition. First initially 100%, after that reducing. Similarly we are adding one more material. So initially the composition of B is 0. So next one 30 degrees, next 40, and then 80, and then finally 100%. So gradually we are changing the composition. So varying from one material into the other, it will result in different phases. It will result in different phases with different chemical compositions. Next, the different phases are produced or dependent on the compositional quality. So here, those are divided into 5 phases. So one phase, each phase will show different properties. So that properties depends upon the compositional quality. So if we are varying the composition, the property will also varies. So and manufacturing conditions of the reinforcing material. So this is the manufacturing rate. So if we are manufacturing with different composition, the property will varies. So the next one is second one, porosity gradient. As we know that if the component is having porosity, then the properties will reduce. So here what we are doing is we are changing the size of the porosity. So here if you observe that, so the white spots are the porosity one. So here the porosity is more, whereas here the porosity is less. So to get this, we are again here also we are segregating the complete pot into number of layers, number of phases. So each phase is filled with different sized particles. So we see in powder metallurgy during sintering. So all the materials. So if these are the 4 particles, so during sintering those particles will fuse and form a structure like this. So gradually stage to stage these two will fuse. Similarly this fuse. So fuse and finally a small porosity will left over. So here if we are using the size of the molecules or the material is less, then the size of the porosity will also reduces. Here the size of the particle is maybe 5 micrometers. So one more size. Here I consider one more size particles. Maybe the size of the particle is 1 micrometer. So here, so if we join during fusing, this will result in small porosity. So here, from here to here, if you compare, the size of the porosity is reduced. Here maybe the size of the porosity, if it is around 5 mm, if it is a cylindrical, actually it will not be in a circular shape. Imagine that it is a 5 mm of diameter. Sorry, 5 micrometers. The size of the porosity, it means after fusing the 4 molecules or nearby molecules, the leftover, the space is, the diameter of that leftover space is 5 micrometers. Whereas here it will be 1 micrometer. So why? Because this is due to the size of the raw material. So here the powder size is less, whereas here the powder size is more. So gradually, if we are changing the powder size in layer by layer phases, then we will get different porosity. So as we know that if the pore size is high, the whole component. So and here there is no porosity. Here it is having porosity. Then this will have less mechanical properties than the material without purity, without porosity. So gradually here it is having only small porosity, porous holes, so that here the strength of the composite will be high compared to the above one. The same principle is using here. So gradually we are changing the size of the powder, so that the formation porosity is also changing. So due to the variation in formation of porosity, the property is also varying. By changing the size of the particles, size of the powder material, we are getting different porosity. So due to having different porosity, the property on one side and the other side will be different. So here we are getting two different properties of the same material on two different sides by changing the size of the particles, that is due to the porosity. Next, functionally the porosity in the material is made to change with the change in position, particle position in the bulk material. By changing the porosity position, we are getting the different properties. Next, the pore size gradation can be achieved by varying the powder particle size, by varying the powder particle size that are used at different locations in the bulk material during the gradation process. So here, by changing the porous size, by changing the powder particle size in different locations, we can get different properties. The next one is microstructure gradient efficient. So here, by means of this, by changing the microstructure, by changing the grain size, we can get different properties. As we know that during solidification, the grain formation will take place. So while solidification, if we consider this as a material and it started solidification, the starting portion means the grains at the walls will be very fine particles. So small grains will be. After that, columnar grains will form. So due to lack of cooling or due to the cooling rate is less, columnar grains will form. Whereas the starting one is uniaxial grains will form, after that columnar grains will form. This is due to the cooling rate. The same purpose here, by changing the cooling rate, by changing the cooling or by changing the solidification state, by changing the solidification range, we are getting different properties. It means different microstructure of the component, so that we can get different properties on different sides. So this is the component. So initially the component is heated, and it means the hot water is flowing through the component, so that the grain boundaries, all the grain boundaries will be merged, and then it starts solidification. So grain boundaries will form. So after that, if we pass the cooling water along this pipe, along this passage, then the columns or then the surfaces immediately to this section will form uniaxial grains. So while passing, initially the compound is having all the grains are uniform. After that, by passing the hot water, the material, the grain boundaries will be merged together. After again, immediately if you are quenching, so if you are passing the cold water, then the grain boundaries will start forming from the boundaries, and immediately to the boundary, small uniaxial grains will form. At the end of the structure, columnar grains will form. So due to changing the grain structure, it means that is microstructure. Due to the changing of microstructure, the property on the outer surface will be different and the inner surface is different. So the outer surface, the property on the outer surface will be different on the outer side and inner side. The property on both the sides will be varied. So this can be the microstructure gradient FGM. So it can be achieved during the solidification process. So this is achieved during solidification process, such that the surface of the material is quenched. So suddenly if you are passing the cold water, that is called quenching. The core of the same material, core is in the middle, hollow section. So here the core of the same material is allowed to cool down slowly, which would is so core in the center way. We are allowing the cold water to flow. So the core of the same material is allowed to cool down slowly, which would help to produce different microstructures. From those on the surface of the material. So inside one is surface material and outside is surface 2 material. Inside surface 1. So which would help to produce different microstructure from those on the surface of the material to the innermost. So here we are having 2 surfaces, that is surface 1 inner surface and those on the surface of the material. So surface of the material, that is outside surface, that is surface 2 to the innermost part. So the 2 metals are having, so it means the 2 portions are having 2 different properties due to having different microstructure on both the sides. So these are the various types of FGMs. So today we discussed about the various types of FGMs, that is 3 types of FGMs, that is porosity gradient FGM, composition gradient FGM and microstructure gradient FGM. So first one, chemical composition FGMs can be achieved by filling the material with different compositions. So as we know that the components are having number of layers. So each phase is filled with different type of composition. So that ultimately we are getting different properties on two different sides. So the next one is porosity gradient. So by changing the size of the porosity, it means the changing the pore size, we are getting 2 different properties. So the pore size can be changed by changing the size of the particles. So by changing the size of the powder material, we are changing the size of the porosity. So that we are getting different properties on different sides. The next one is microstructure gradient. By changing the microstructure, we are getting different properties. So the microstructure can be changed by means of hot water, by means of the microstructure, the different microstructure can be achieved during its solidification. So for solidification, we are using we are quenching the component so that the microstructure formation will be different on different sides. So that we are getting different properties on different sides. So those are the various types of functionally graded materials. Thank you.